the remorse and the shamefulness that I feel about this. It's unthinkable.
In addition, I have received, I think that's it as far as, there was one other, looks like there was an email that was received by Ms. Werner from Holly Benson. I have received that letter as well, and have y'all, I think that's part of what I received
It was
previously.
regarding victim impact information, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Anything else then that either you want me to review that is in writing that I haven't already stated?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
I only want to confirm that the letters from my client's wife and children and his pastor's church and other church members were included in the PSI. They were included in my copy. I just want to make sure.
Yes,
Thank you.
And I saw those interviewed here.
they were, and I reviewed those as well.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Young, I will allow you to proceed.
Thank you. Your Honor, I prepared a brief PowerPoint which largely summarizes the PSI that I'd like to use as an open statement. This information is gleaned from the investigation, and while it's in the PSI, I know the court has reviewed it. I think it's important for the public forum and for the record to emphasize this.
Sure, go ahead, sir.
Obviously, we're here for the sentencing of Mr. Gomez on these very serious charges. I want to point out some contextual evidence that came out through the investigation by the District Attorney's Office and by our office. But I want to be clear, this is not an attempt to excuse his behavior. It's not intended to do anything other than give the court some context that led to this particular tragedy. First, this entire thing began with a work-related gathering. Mr. Gomez had been in Beaumont only about a month, working for one of the construction pipeline companies, unfamiliar with the area. There was an invitation to go to these different restaurants and places by his supervisors. He felt compelled to go. The report by DPS highlights they spoke to several witnesses who were co-workers who said this was kind of an after-work gathering where they all went. Of course, once the companies realized the magnitude of what had happened, next slide please, they quit cooperating. Basically, no one would talk to DPS, no one would talk to our investigators. They kind of circled the wagons. I think that lends some credence to the fact that this was something that the companies did encourage the employees to do. The entire matter was investigated by the Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission. And the first place they went, go back to this, was Darla's Taqueria here in town. And from the TABC report, which is introduced into evidence as part of the plea, next slide, they made a determination that Darla's Taqueria had grossly overserved Mr. Gomez, and that it was contrary to basically any public sense of decency. Next slide. The next place they went for the TABC report was Temptations Cabaret. The report details, next slide, the enormous number of drinks he was served, including one where he was served 5 shots at the table and seen to fall down by the waitress, and she still served the drinks at the table. They determined that they clearly overserved an intoxicated person. The big question here that I had when we began this case is, how did he end up going on the southbound on the northbound lane of 69? And he was staying at the time at the AAA RV Park, which is located down here on, I believe it's Old Port Arthur Road. And his route of travel would have taken him from Temptations Cabaret down through that, I believe exiting and going down Old Port Isabella Road. Next slide. Obviously, he missed that exit, and he came down. And there's another way that you can go down 69 southbound to likewise get back to the RV park, and that was his plan at the time. Next slide. The problem is, and soon after we looked at this, investigated it, and they had the GPS data from his phone. He exited, he turned down Martin Luther King, and he came to an area where he would have gotten on the ramp to go up to the southbound lanes of 69. But, next slide, there was this side. One more slide closer. Right there on the ramp, it said road closed. Now, I believe what they meant to say was lane closed, and they wanted you to go around that and get on 69. But when he was confronted with this road closed sign, he took a left, which is what the detour sign seemed to indicate, went down, and then got on the exit ramp for the northbound headed southbound. And it's common here, I've seen it in several places where they have divided what were one-way service roads into two ways, and he assumed that was what happened. Of course, that led him on to the southbound, going southbound and northbound. That's how he got there. Next slide. South Court comments. I want to congratulate the probation department here in Jefferson County. They did an incredible, very thorough, and I think very even-handed and fair pre-sentence report. But a little bit about who Salvador Gomez is that came out through the report. Next slide. He was a military veteran. He was served in the United States Marine Corps, was honorably discharged. Next slide. He's always worked. He graduated high school in '91. He attended the police academy in 1992. He was a deputy sheriff in Cameron County until he had an off-the-job injury where part of one of his fingers was amputated and he could no longer continue as a deputy sheriff. At the time of this, he was employed by ExxonMobil as a piping superintendent. Next slide. He's been confined to a wheelchair since this incident. He's had tremendous injuries. He's going to suffer from those injuries probably for the rest of his life. Next slide. And as the PSI points out, that something we would ask the court to consider is that that does reflect some personal consequence for his actions in this particular case. The PSI and everything we see indicates that he's a very stable, loving father and husband. He's been married since 2001 to the same woman. He has 4 children. He active in his church. There were several letters of support from his pastor and from other members of the congregation included in the PSI. Next slide. The probation officer noted that he thinks of the victims daily. He knows their names and has a personal connection because one of them is in very close age to his own children and another shares the same birthday as his daughter. Those are things we'd like the court to consider from the PSI, and we'll have a closing argument later. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nichols, any witnesses? And
Yes, Your Honor, I did call several witnesses.
Sure.
The state calls Christopher Stacks.
What's the last name? I'm sorry.
Stacks.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. If you'll just pull that microphone close so everybody can hear you. Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stacks, would you introduce yourself to the court? Tell us your full name and what do you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm Christopher Stacks, and I work for Valen. It's a fire safety company.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 26.
Where were you raised?
Was born in Jacksonville, Florida, raised in Texas.
Where'd you go to high school?
Nederland High School.
And what city do you live in now?
Nederland.
You married?
I was
When were you married?
about 1.5 years ago.
And who were you married to?
Lauren Stacks.
Lauren Stacks. Also, her name was what before y'all got married?
Lauren Eisenhower.
And